Welcome to Toffee TV. This is an Allan update. I feel like there should be some news, some like breaking news sound there, but no, that isn't. It does sound like this is getting very, very close, Baz. It sounds like we're on the verge. I'm sure people are watching. Oh yeah, we know we're on the verge, but maybe just to calm people down a little bit, and hopefully get it across that, sounds like it's a done deal, but it's not completely sorted and over the line yet.
Yeah, obviously we've looked at it. We've had it on the news. We focused on it when we done our centre midfield update. And, our transfer things for each position. Allan was there. This started back in January, didn't it? When obviously the transfer window opened, and he was linked heavily with the move then in January to Everton, and it's gone on month by month, it seems. There's the connections there, and he'd fallen out of favour a little bit with Gattuso at Napoli. I think that the whole relationship with Napoli, I think the crack started to appear when they wouldn't let him go to PSG, when PSG wanted him. And I think since then, things have been on a bit of a downward spiral. I think PSG inquired about him again in January, and Napoli wouldn't let him go. But obviously the links have been there with Everton all the way along, and this always felt like Ancelotti's key signing, almost the one that to come in, the one you trust, the one who knows his formation and stuff like that. And that's how it's been going along. And I know that when Andy's in, we have a little bit of a laugh at Andy about age and stuff like that, But I think even Andy's agreed it's the kind of signing that you would expect a manager of Ancelotti's quality to make, because he's a tone setter. And so as that's gone on month by month, and it's looked more likely and more likely, at first the numbers bounced around with 60 million, 50 million. It was never going to happen at that. And then over the weekend we had kind of almost a breakthrough, didn't we? It's thought to be around 25 million euros. Yeah. That's including add-ons for a player who's 29. And I think, we've had, obviously over the weekend, we've had De Laurentiis saying it's basically done. Yeah. Our end's done. The two clubs have agreed on the terms. And where we're up to now is obviously the personal terms, which that you see, particularly Mr. Shearer, not Alan Shearer, Nicola, on Twitter saying, personal terms agreed months ago and all that. It's never the case with footballers, because once there's agreement with a club, the agents then fine-tune those details, and I think that's where we're up to at the moment. There's an agreement in place with the two clubs. Allan will become an Everton player once the final bits of the personal terms, and subject to medical, of course.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think that you mentioned there about, this one's been mentioned quite a few times as we've been going along, and as James Rodriguez at different stages as well.
I mentioned it when we got, remember? In December when we got Ancelotti, I went, Rodriguez incoming, but I was saying it tongue in cheek. But
sometimes that's what happens, isn't it? Sometimes you have like that story that'll just pop up now and again. I know he's been a lot like hotter than obviously James Rodriguez is, but you always feel like the manager's been keeping an eye on these players, because these are the ones that he really wanted. The players that could change up the squad. Even with the Corey as well, he's always, like, you think about the last couple of years, that's been bubbling on for the last couple of years, hasn't it? Even just like in passing, I remember when we played them, when we drew 2-2, and Dean scored that last minute, and he scored, and everyone was like, that's what we need. And even we had Gan at the time, and I remember people just going, but that's what we need. We need a player who's all over the pitch. And it's funny the way some things just sometimes in football just stick around, stay around them. You can change the manager and all kinds, but these things just stay around. So, Allan's, as we've said before on other videos, he's definitely the player that the manager wants to come in and be that. He mentioned, didn't he? He mentioned that evolution rather than revolution. And you think, well, if you bring 3 players in, that is an evolution. That's not going mad. That's bringing in 3 players or there or thereabouts that can change things up for you and start what I mean by that is start making the team, the rest of the team. And this is what we say when we're having these conversations with Andy. And I know we put a video out the other day that was on one of our Live at 5. It's that idea of you don't need to rip up the team and start again. You just have to show them what the manager wants. And sometimes this has always been my sort of philosophy or idea on this, especially with leadership and bringing in players who might be older, is sometimes you need someone who just sets the bar, who shows everybody what the manager wants. Can explain it and can explain it, but sometimes you need that fella who just knows how to do it. And I'm hoping that certainly with Allan, and then maybe with the other signings, that's what happens, and all the other players just suddenly clicks into place. Suddenly we start seeing players pressing in groups and doing exactly what the manager wants, and hopefully that's the case. And I think getting this one over the line will be the first one, and it will, I think that's then when I don't think fans get excited about these kind of signings in like, oh, what are we going to see on the pitch? He's going to do this and do that. But I think they excite fans because they go, yes, the manager's starting to get his hands on this team.
Yeah, I think he will. He'll make a massive difference, I think, to us. If he can replicate the form he's shown for Udinese and for Napoli, because he's like a little bit of a mixture of everything. I think he might have said it before, and it's an older reference, but he reminds me of Peter Reid when Peter Reid came into Everton. That type of player who'd set the tempo, go after the ball. He can do a lot of things. He's a good passer at the ball. He can dribble. He likes to tackle. Seen Don Hutchison talking about him the other day, saying he's hard as nails and he'll give Everton this and that. And sometimes when you have that player, Garner did do it to a certain extent, set the tempo because you go harrying and things like that. And this fella does it. I mean, we've got the thing we used on the centre midfield video, which is like, tackles in the midfield there, over 1.76. I think Everton's midfielders at the moment are all under 1. Way under 1, so it's almost double what we're seeing at the moment, so that's an improvement. Presses in the middle third, 15.5 a game, whereas we're probably averaging 6 maybe at the moment. Possession adjusted per 97 interceptions, he's almost at 6, and Garner used to be around 6 or 7. Some games he'd be 10, others he'd be 3. Progressive passes 7.5, and in progressive runs 1.23. So his numbers are good, his numbers are better than what we've got at the moment, and that's what you look for when you bring a player in. Is he better than what we've got? It isn't. You don't want it to be just marginally better, because then you're going backwards. But he's very different. The one thing we've said many times, whoever we've had in here, our midfield players, we have all the same. This is why Gabaman would have made a big difference, because he's very different to what we've got. But the ones we have at the moment are all similar. They all do like a similar job. He doesn't. He does a very different job. And you mentioned Decore, there's another one who does a very different job. Gets around the pitch, gets into the penalty area, scores goals. Well, listen, the 3 names you've just mentioned, if Carlo Ancelotti got those 3, and it's looking very positive at the moment, I would be delighted, because I've said all along we needed 2 centre midfield players and someone to play off the right. Rodriguez has played a lot of his games off the right-hand side. Okay, he's not a pacey, dynamic winger, but he's a supremely talented footballer who can come inside as well, and he's got a great left foot. Why that would give me comfort is because, and this is just a very selfish thing, but it's the manager seeing what I'm seeing, looking at that midfield and going, that's horrific. We needed 2, that's not good. And he's gone on and he's trying to get 2 in there. We need something off that side. Bang, he's done that. Immediately, and I think that gives you that confidence. With
Gabaman to come back
as well. And Gabaman as well. And you've got Gomez has got it up his game. Not good enough, mate, off your pop. So I think that's good. But this fella, it seems now, like we said before, the agreements are in place with the clubs. Their presidents, once they say it, it's basically done. I think it's probably 1 or 2 details with his agent, and then it'll be a medical, possibly tomorrow maybe, I don't know, next 24, 48 hours. Get him done. I mean, I'd love to see him. Everton have got a game on Saturday against Preston. I'd love to see him, even if it was 25 minutes at the end of the game. He's been training, so he's probably okay.
Well, he only finished his season.
And their season 3 or 4
weeks. The Champions League, didn't he?
Oh, of course, a couple of weeks ago. Barcelona. So hopefully this week we will get this tied. It's looking very likely now. I think once they're down to the finer details, it's medical pending. Allan will become an Everton player, and it's a really good sign.
Let us know your thoughts. Are you excited for Allan to come into Everton? Is the kind of player we need? He is, isn't he? And I mean, obviously as well, he's 29. Are you worried about the sell-on value? Got to throw it out there. You got to ask the question. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to stay tuned. Keep an eye out for Toffee TV for all the latest when it breaks on any of these players we are after. Don't forget, give this video a like, subscribe. And if you want more videos, live videos to talk about it, to get involved, to talk about all these players with us, to get your points across, join us on Patreon. The link is in the description. And you can sign up for a year now. You can just jump in and go, this is boss, I'm just going to sign up for a year. There you
Job
go.
done.
Dad's just checking his phone just to make sure, to see if it's done. What does his message say? You have to find out on Patreon. Click the link in the description. We'll see you later.